So how do you know that the information that you're getting is accurate when you're talking to your animals telepathically or energetically? I'm going to give you 3 things that will help you when you're first starting out. Number 1, do not expect instantaneous in-your-face confirmation. And I will expand on that in a minute. Number 2, ask for help. And this is key. Ask your animals. Ask the universe, ask your, whoever your spiritual team of helpers is on the other side for help. Explain, you want to learn how to do this, you need to build your confidence, so you're going to need a little bit of confirmation and affirmation that what you're getting is accurate. The third thing is that sometimes it's really confidence building to talk to your animals, tell them kind of what you would like to see happen, and observe a shift in their behavior. So I think it's sometimes easier to talk to them and have them receive it because they are receiving it all the time. They are masters at this. We are the ones that have a hard time hearing it and receiving it on our end. But if we can see our messages being received and see behavior shifts because of it, it does build our confidence. So I'm going to give you a few examples about each of those things I just mentioned. A while ago, it's been a while now, when I made a declaration that I was going to shift into communicating with animals in an intentional and focused way. One of the first things I did was I said, I need some help with this. I don't really know how to do it. I don't know how to get affirmation and confirmation. Shortly after that, I was standing out on my driveway. Now, I live in a forested area, a lot of trees around me, and I was in front of my training building talking with some students. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a bright blue flash. And I looked up, and there was a bird that I had never seen before, who swooped down into my field of vision out the corner of my eye and landed on a tree branch. And that bird was maybe 20 feet away, maybe 15, 20 feet away. And I said, I was just mesmerized by this incredible bright blue. I said, what is that? Does anyone know what that is? And someone said, it's a stellar jay. Well, I had never seen a stellar jay before. And just then, that bird flew off of one branch, swooped down right dead center over the top of my head, and went to another branch on the other side. And he was so close to me that I almost ducked. I had like that urge to duck. And I said, wow, and so we finished the conversation. They went off, and I was thinking about it. And I just thought, I said, what was that? Was it a message? Was it, my head started going into all this, what it could possibly be. And all of a sudden I saw in my mind's eye, now this is my imagination, in my mind's eye, all the trees around me were full of birds. In my mind, there weren't that many birds in real life, but in my mind, they were just loaded to the gills with all these birds, and they were chattering, like a bunch of chitter chatter. And that what they were doing is they were looking at me, and they were saying, look at that human. She's waking up. Her eyes are opening. And right on the heels of that, like this was all happening instantaneously in my head, I saw that blue jay in my head. And what I felt him say was, I just wanted to see what all the chatter was about. And the reason he dipped right over my head into my 7th and 8th chakra is because he wanted to experience my energy field and just understand what I was all about. And I said, okay, that's pretty wild. But I think it feels right. And so, but I need some confirmation on that. So if what I'm interpreting this to be is true and accurate, I'd like to see that stellar jay again, within the next few days, because understand, I've lived here for almost 30 years and I've never seen a stellar jay. So it's not like they hang out here a lot. Well, 2 days later, I was standing in my kitchen looking out the window, and right across my line of sight, there comes the stellar jay and landed on a tree branch right beside my window. I said, okay, I got it. I heard it. And after I saw him flittering about for a couple of weeks, and I haven't seen him since, and that was like 3 years ago. Now, in that moment, and this is key, my left brain could have taken over and had all kinds of reasons why I didn't hear what I heard. But I chose to believe it. And that is key. All right. The second example that I have and that was an example about how if you ask for help and you ask for confirmation, it will come, but it might not be exactly in your face instantaneously. This is another example of that. I have a friend, she called me one day, a cat showed up on her front porch, very hungry and very dehydrated. So she wanted me to check in and see, if I could find out anything about the cat. And her biggest concern was, is somebody looking for this cat? I need to find this cat's home. So I checked in with the cat, and what I got was that nobody was looking for her. She had been abandoned. It was a real sense of abandonment. And that in her life, when she was young, she was adopted from an animal shelter. And she kept companionship and was best friends and helped and supported a young boy in the family. But the parents were not into it. They weren't really into cats. And they moved and they left her abandoned. So we went with that. And about 2 weeks later, she took the cat to the vet, needed to have a checkup, and also there was nagging at her that she needed to check for a microchip, even though I was certain that nobody was looking for this cat. It turns out the cat lived 2 doors down, and she knew the people who owned the cat. So she called them up and said, hey, I have your cat. And they said, oh, gosh, we thought she went off to die. And the story with the cat was 100% everything that I got. Came from a shelter, really close to the boy. Parents didn't really like cats. And what they said was, we don't take our animals to the vet. We give them food, we give them water, the rest is up to them. And she needed to see the vet. She needed to see the vet before that time, but they didn't take care of her. Well, that's a sense of abandonment, like hardcore abandonment, right? And that's what she told me. So everything that I got in that session with the cat was true, but it took 2 weeks to figure it out. And that's what I mean about ask for help, have faith you'll get it. Don't expect it to happen instantaneously, especially when you first start out. And then the third example I had was about talk to your animal and observe shifts in their behavior, because that will build your confidence. So this is a story about my own cat. He does not like to be handled by anybody. Nobody. When somebody drives in the driveway, he is gone. When somebody, and if he happens to be locked in the house, he'll blast out through the dog door and take off. He goes up on the roof under the solar panels usually. And if he is trapped in the house and somebody comes in, he is hiding in the furthest darkest corner. He does not like people, except I can handle him, right? So he's a big cat. He's 17 pounds at his ideal weight. So if he doesn't want to be handled, he is not going to be handled. Well, several years ago, I had to take him to the vet, and that was a nightmare. He was panicked. They had an impossible time trying to handle him. It was a traumatic experience for me. It was traumatic for him. Might have even been traumatic for the vet. I don't know. It was just awful. So here we are not too long ago. He's got to go to the vet again. I say to myself, I'm handling it differently this time. What did I do? I talked him through it. I said, okay, this is what's going to happen. I showed him pictures. I communicated to him in pictures all along the way, and intention and energy. And I told him, you've got to go to the vet. I need to get you better. This will get you better. And this is how it's going to go. I showed, I'm going to put you in the crate. You're going to go in the car. I'm going to bring my dogs along because they will help you feel safe in the car because they're good friends. And I said, then I'm going to take you in the vet clinic and we're going to leave you there. And until you, and in a quiet room, we're going to go very slow. And the vet is going to check you out. We need to do this. And I told him, I will check in with you telepathically all day long. I then explained to the vet what was going on. She was totally down with it and supported everything. So I left him, and about every 40 minutes or so, I checked in with him telepathically. I imagined myself holding him near my heart, and I reassured him, this is temporary. I'm not leaving you. They're going to take good care of you, all that stuff. And they were able to give him an injection of a light sedative without any problem. They were able to get a urine sample, and they were able to get a blood draw. And then I picked him up and I brought him home, and we got out of the crate. He stretched, he was relaxed, he was like, no stress in this cat. And I told him how proud I was of him, and he purred like nobody's business and started wrapping himself around my legs, as they do. So that was positive affirmation that the communication that I was giving to my animal was working. And that is a real confidence building event when that happens. So those are 3 ideas to build your own confidence and get you started. All right. In my next installment, I'm going to share with you some more real life stories, which everybody loves to hear those.